r/box office. Frogs Gems and Trains says Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is officially certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Included photo. Landon 1195 says going to see it tomorrow. Can't wait. Bulky Conclusion 6606 says yeah, love to see it. Diligent at 8001 says is Chris Pratt way skinny on this poster, or is it just me? Johnny-Ack 907 says and hanging at 65% with top critics that aren't paid Disney shills. Low_Pez says I would not be surprised if the movie is mediocre or bad. But the negative reviews that I've seen read like critics who are upset the movie didn't conform to what they personally expected, which is not really how you're supposed to approach movies, especially as a critic. It's a bizarre trend. Bleixy says just finished watching it. The movie is really good. Very emotional and heavy. It is definitely the best Marvel movie since Endgame, and one of the best Marvel movies in general. It was a perfect wrap for a trilogy. Gores21 says that's Groot. Can't wait to see this next week. 8_legged_beefy says why is Nebula built like my dad? Robertium says with Gunn having been put in charge of DC, this certainly bodes well for the fate of their new universe, right? Crows says great emotional movie. It's above Vol 2 and 1 in some aspects, and in some Vol 1 and 2 exceeds it. It's strangely in between both. Chicanegatarian says seems like Marvel has at least temporarily moved out of its slump. Given that this isn't even currently in the 80s, but the general WOM is extremely positive, I suspect the superhero fatigue is an even larger critical issue than an audience issue. Sujay517 says wow. Good job on those who worked on this. Marvel really needed this. It's sad that this is something that is needed these days when it used to be expected, but that's how it is right now. Now for the box office. r/box office. BigBud06 says what happened to the prediction/betting feature? Did Reddit remove/disable it? Crows says too long, didn't read, it's removed because maintaining the feature is troublesome and also for simplicity for the overall Reddit. Bibeliever says you could bet on Reddit. Dolphins Revel says I wondered. Broker Brody says I had no idea. I was excited to vote for Gotjiao. Firefox72 says yes. They removed it, or will remove it this week. r/box office. Gammasoftity says what will be the next film to be on the 50 highest grossing films of all time list? We all know that Jurassic World Dominion is no longer on the 50 highest grossing films list by Avatar: The Way of Water by joining the list. Most recently The Dark Knight was no longer on the list by the Super Mario Bros. movie. I wonder what will be the 53rd film to join the list to no longer having the first Harry Potter film on the list. Cardofo says Shazam 2. Bobtrain 666 says Fast X or Flash have an off chance. If not, then Dial of Destiny. Inwardly Reflective says Hobbit is next in line to fall off the list according to Box Office Mojo. Fella05 says so the question is basically the next movie to more comfortably make $1 billion, as opposed to slowly crawling there? Being 50th all time means making $1,017,030,652. What happened to everyone being sure that Little Mermaid was going to be a smash hit? Because Wolf said that based on all the hype it was getting. That seems to have cooled off recently. Valkyria_Night 881 says. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, maybe? Life 69 says. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Save this comment. r/box office. Daniel Vasquez 2000 says. Thursday preview box office predictions. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and Love Again. Here's my predictions. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Estimated 4,300 theaters. $20. $25 million. Thursday preview showings begins at 3 p.m. Love Again. Estimated 2,800 theaters. $300,000. $350,000. Thursday preview showings begins at 4 p.m. What's yours? Russ Writer 67 says. GOTG Volume 3 $18 male, which would be slightly higher than Vol 2, $17 male, and Quantumania, $17.50 male. I could see $19 male happening if word of mouth spreads before Thursday. Love Again will likely only earn around $500K. The movie's big test will be next weekend, Mother's Day, which will help it out a lot. Maybe it could see an increase next weekend. Walrus_operator says. I just saw the movie. The first half was a slog, while the second half was incredible. Given my experience, your predictions seem pretty solid. The Luxxy says. Pre-sales aren't really pointing to $20 male plus. I'd say 17 to 18 male, especially given the lack of growth in alpha yesterday. Makes me concerned the growth was just a review bump happening early, rather than true acceleration. r/box office. Devil Master King says. Was anyone surprised Evil Dead Rise past 100 million? Have not seen movie yet so can't judge it, but I was kinda shocked to see how much it made, since it's been so long since a Evil Dead movie, and the franchise seems to be one of those more niche ones. Shania 632 says. The remake made almost 100 male and horror is thriving theatrically, so not really. Meester 13T says. Yeah, actually. The market preferences, post-COVID, are still formulating. It's been a crapshoot, looking at Marvel too, as to what has been successful. I love this franchise, glad it got to shine. Swinnerland says. Absolutely. There are a shitton of factors against this movie's box office, and seeing it doing so well is exciting AF. A gory horror movie, not to mention the fifth installment on an 80s franchise, outgrossing all of its predecessors, while competing with two blockbusters in the beginning of summer season. Kudos to it. I wonder if Terrifier 2 Wide Wom had any impact on that. Or maybe people just really liked the 2013 remake/reboot/sequel, it was very scary. Shurikenkij says. Evil Dead is one of the most popular horror franchises. And with 10 years of increasing popularity from movies, series and video games, it only needed to put out a good movie and the success was basically guaranteed. I personally as a horror fan love this franchise, since a long time ago. Handsome 22492 says. For some reason it seems like WB/New Line horror films do quite a bit better overseas than other horror films produced by other studios. Seaworthiness No 7879 says. Considering what you said, it's definitely a shocker and a nice surprise. Yes, it's playing well to audiences, but even then, the legs this film has had overseas so bucking the trend of the norm for the genre of film it is. r/box office. Dismal_Wimfall says. Summer 2023 domestic range predictions. #100, 200 Dom. Fast X Oppenheimer Transformers, Rise of the Beasts Haunted Mansion The Meg 2 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem #200, 300 Dom Spider-Man, Across the Spider-Verse Elemental Barbie 300, 400 Dom Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. The Little Mermaid, The Flash, Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning, Part 1 #400, 500 Dom, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Skagia says, Spiderverse making more money than Fast X. Does this sub know something I don't know? Altruistic Monopoly says, I see Spider-Man probably being just above the 300 male mark or right around it for a nice 600 WWI-ish. Bob Train 666 says, fair enough, but I think Fast X cracks 200 male and Elemental doesn't. Superhero_hater_69 says, I personally put me 7 in the 250 to 300 male range. Mr. Libby says, so many people in this sub are going to be disappointed with the Indiana Jones grosses.